A revised version of the proposal was submitted yesterday with updated financial estimates.
Our revised version of the proposal was submitted yesterday. I did not take any tension. I just spoke first. 60%, so it's fluency 4.5, pronunciation 4.8, content 2 out of 3. Our revised version, it's our revised version of the proposal was submitted yesterday, and updated financial estimates. 4 words have skipped. And more or less it's around 10-11 words or 12 words, 4 words have skipped. Still I'm getting good scores, and this is what you should be doing in the exam. Hey everybody, Nakul here from SKILLS PTE Academic. Really hope everybody is doing fantastic. I'm back with yet another super awesome pop-packed video on PTE repeat sentence 10 strict rules of 2025. Well, before we get into the video, if not subscribed to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button. Anytime you need online assistance, it's a paid assistance. You can check the information in the description of this video. We left a WhatsApp link. You can click on the link, send us a message. We will do the needful. Also to tell you, recently we released our 3 official ebooks. First was PTE Speaking Cheat Code, second was PTE Reading Cheat Code, and the third is Match Winning Approach to PTE. If you don't want to miss out on the content in these 3 ebooks, links are in the description. You can click on any of the ebook, buy it as a combo and avail some discount as well. Alright, it's time to get into the video and unveil the 10 strict rules of PTE repeat sentence. PTE repeat sentence is a second section of the PTE speaking module, and it's very important only because it gives 30 marks towards your speaking and 30 marks towards your listening. And trust me, people have troubles here because people try to memorize the audio, they will not be able to, people fumble, hesitate, and lot many factors. First thing first, what is repeat sentence? They play an audio, you listen to the audio and speak the audio back. As simple as that, meaning repeat the sentence. Now you try to repeat, you won't be able to repeat, you try to respond, meaning you listen, understand what it is and then try to respond. Most probably you should be able to repeat 80 to 90% of the content accurately. Well, before we get into the strict rules of 2025 PTE repeat sentence, let's understand how you're evaluated with respect to PTE repeat sentence and what is written in the Pearson scorecard. It's 5 for fluency, 5 pronunciation, and 3 for content. Just by looking into it, we can make out it is the fluency and the pronunciation, meaning more or less it's the fluency that wins the race over the content. I'm not saying content is not important. All I'm telling you is, with respect to fluency, it is not important. Meaning, if you have fluency and content, fluency always is prioritized over the content, which is clearly evident from this 5-5-3 equation. And also for the content, Pearson scorecard clearly mentions if 100% of your content matches the question, you get 3 out of 3 for content. But let's say only 50 to 60%, meaning above 50% of the content is exactly matching the question, then you don't end up getting 0, you get 2 out of 3. Well, that's a jackpot. And if less than 50% matches, most probably it's gonna be 0 out of 3. So our aim is to speak at least 50-60% of the content in the worst case, if not 100%. And by understanding all the 10 strict rules that I'm about to unveil. So before we actually get into the 10 strict rules, let me also give you a quick understanding on the mathematics involved in calculating this content. Remember, if you add all this, 5 for fluency, 5 pronunciation, 3 for content, 5 plus 5 plus 3 gonna be 13. Let's say you spoke 100% of the content perfectly and you're very fluent, your pronunciation is also crisp, clear, then you end up getting 5 fluency, 5 pronunciation, 3 out of 3 content. And if you add all these things, 5 plus 5 plus 3, 13, end up getting 13 out of 13. But one repeat sentence is not 13 marks. Ideally it should be, but it should be converted to 3 marks because one repeat sentence contributes totally 3 marks. 10 repeat sentence would be 30 marks to speaking and 30 marks to listening. Now this 13, 1-3 out of 1-3 that you have received if you speak everything perfectly without compromising on the fluency would be actually converted to 3 out of 3. If 13 is 3, what would be 12, what would be 11, what would be 10, what would be 6, what would be 3? In that way the conversion will happen. Now let's take up case 2 wherein you've spoken 50-60% of the content only matching and your fluency is perfect and your clarity is all good. So you end up getting 5 for fluency, 5 pronunciation, but 2 out of 3 for content, and it is not 0 out of 3 because as per our evaluation criteria from the Pearson score guide, it says 50 above % matching, you end up getting 2 out of 3. Now if you add on all these things, it would be 5 plus 5 plus 2. Earlier it was 5 plus 5 plus 3, here it is 5 plus 5 plus 2, 5 plus 5 plus 2 is 10 plus 2, 12. You end up getting 12 out of 13, and when you try to convert this 12 to 3 marks, if 13 is equal to 3, 12 is equal to probably 2.8, which also is close to 3 only. Hope you are getting it. If content is 2 or content is 3 is not going to make a huge difference towards your scores. All that matters is the fluency, meaning don't go behind getting that perfect content. If you can get the perfect content, well and good. If you're not getting, that's also totally fine, because what gives you marks more is the fluency and not just the content. Now with these things in our mind, keeping these things in the mind, now we will unveil the 10 strict rules of PTE repeat sentence and understand how to trick the software by understanding these rules. Towards the end, I'll show you a demonstration through our soon going to be live website on how to do the repeat sentence and get full marks from the AI for at the max 20 questions. The strict rule 1 for repeat sentence 2025. For short audios, please never apply this 50-60% rule. Remember, if the audio is please come to the next seminar, 4-5 words or 5-6 words, 6-7 words, and on that you end up speaking 3-4 words, because Nakul has told, if I speak 50-60% of the content, I should be getting good scores. For a shorter audio, never apply this rule. This is the strict rule number 1. For shorter audio, you apply this and speak only 3-4 words. Software will have very less data to analyze on your fluency. As a result, it throws up random scores. Fluency would be low, pronunciation would be low, only content would be correct, but it's the fluency that wins the race over the content. So you don't even get 2 out of 3 content, it's going to be 0. For shorter audios, try to maximize the content. Try to speak everything as much as possible. Probably 1 word, 2 word you misinterpret, skip. It's totally fine in the worst case. But best case scenario, try to speak everything correctly, at least for shorter audios. And I believe this is not very difficult to do because the audio is only 6-7 words. Hope you're getting it. Strict rule number 1 says don't apply the other rules when the audio is very short. Remember this. Strict rule number 2. Let's say you speak everything perfectly, but 1 or 2 fumbles you do, the marks will go down. This is the strictest rule number 2, and this is what a lot of students end up making. Fluency is more important than the content. You focus on the content and try to give everything perfectly, but in doing so, 1 or 2 fumbles you do. Only you would think, I think I've done everything correct. Software says, boss, this is not the way I gave the audio to you. Please try to book exam again and give me the audio the way I gave you. The fluency is always a priority over the content. 1 or 2 fumbles you do, probably fluency from 5 becomes 2.5 to 3. And overall, out of 3, even if you've spoken everything correctly, meaning content, you won't get 3 out of 3. Probably it would be 1 out of 3 or probably 1.5 out of 3 and not more than that. Remember this. Let's say this is the question audio. Migration is a critical ecological process that ensures the survival of different species in the universe. It comprises 16 words. And you started speaking every word correctly, well and good. But if you fumble 1 or 2 times, something like this. Migration is a critical ecological process that ensures the survival of different species in the universe. You alone think you would get full marks, 100% you don't get good scores here. In the exam, you do this by giving all the content perfectly, but 1 or 2 or 3 fumbles you do, probably it is 1 out of 3 and not more than that. Remember this strictest rule number 2. But then what is the solution? Very simple. 50-60% of the content, if you speak, actually you're gonna get full scores. Here the problem is you're going after the content. You're thinking if you speak everything perfectly, you get more scores. Actually no, you're speaking everything perfectly, but in doing so you are making mistakes. So marks will come down. Very simple. Speak less. Speak some 60%, but to speak 60%, here you should take only 60%. You take 100% of the data and then try to speak 60%. Try it out. It's very, very difficult. So here when you listen, migration is a critical ecological process that ensures the survival. After that, don't even listen. In that way, you master your ears, control your mind not to listen the rest of it. My capacity is 10 words. I listen to only 10 words. Post that, I'll not even try to listen. If this is what you decide, then listen less, speak less is equal to problem solved. Next is the strict rule number 3, similar to rule number 2, but the other way around. Speaking 50-60% of the audio with absolute zero fumbles, you get full scores, and this is the very important rule. The same audio, migration is a critical ecological process that ensures the survival of different species in the universe, and you end up speaking, migration is a critical process that ensures the survival of different species. Or you say, migration is a critical ecological process that ensures the survival. Both of this will give you 3 out of 3 from one repeat sentence towards your speaking and listening both, because you'd be getting 5 out of 5 fluency. Content probably would be 2 out of 3 and pronunciation 5 out of 5. You sum it up, it would be 12 out of 13. When you convert it into 3 marks, it would be 2.85 or 2.87, which would almost be equivalent to 3 out of 3. Remember this strict rule number 3. This is what you're going to apply only for lengthy audios, not for a very short audio. 6-word audio, 5-word audio, avoid doing it. 12-word audio, 13-word audio, anything above 11, 12, you can start applying this. Just 50-60% of the audio you listen and speak back. And when you speak, absolute zero fumbles, things will fit in a proper place. This is how you trick it. I'm telling you, this is how you trick it. But what is happening is you are getting tricked yourself. You're going behind the content. As a result, you don't have enough room here, enough space here in your mind to focus more on the fluency. You don't focus more on the fluency, focus more on the content is equal to less marks. Remember this. The next rule is the strict rule number 4. Very, very important. Speak the full audio. You spoke everything perfectly with no fumbles. Ideally, you should get good scores. But again, because of this rule, you end up getting low score because you're adding a lot of pauses. Meaning, if this is the question, this product is analogous to the one displayed in the exhibition the other day, and you try to speak because you're recollecting the data. What was the first word? What was the second word? In doing so, you're buying a lot of time. You're returning the audio in a way the software gets confused and says, boss, this is not the way I kept the audio to you. You're adding intentional lot of pauses, something like this. This product is analogous to the one displayed in the exhibition the other day. Or this product is analogous to the one displayed in the exhibition the other day. Both of this will score very low scores. Remember this, don't get tricked. You got to trick the software. Don't get tricked. Understand this and trick the software. Go with the same rhythm, same tempo, the way you heard the audio from the speaker. It's very, very important. Don't simply add some pauses because you want to recollect the data. Know this, the data alone is not giving you scores. It is the fluency that matters the most. The strict rule number 5, add fillers or phrases. Get very low scores. Again, instead of tricking the software, you end up getting tricked yourself. What is this filler? If this is the question, this product is analogous to the one displayed in the exhibition the other day, and you end up speaking, this product is analogous, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. This product is analogous, tomorrow is Monday, tomorrow is Monday, tomorrow is Monday, tomorrow is Monday, tomorrow is Monday. All this will trickle down your scores. Don't get tricked. You got a trick. Don't get tricked. Don't apply all these things. But let's say while speaking 1 or 2 words to, in, on, additionally by mistake you added. Will that cause any problem? No problem. As long as you're comfortably speaking the entire audio or 60, 50, 60, 70% of the audio correctly, it should be fine. Meaning this product was analogous. Instead of is, if I say was, will that be a problem? See, I'm not motivating you to intentionally replace the few words like is to was, to in, on. No. But by mistake, if that happens, absolutely fine. Don't intentionally mess up the order. Don't do anything intentional. Listen to it. Since you've just listened to the audio, there are high chances that you would return the audio. You would, repeat the audio in the order that you heard. Intentionally, you don't speak in the reverse direction. While speaking 1 or 2 words you missed, 1 or 2 words you added, it should be totally fine, but don't do it intentionally. Don't add fillers. Remember this. Strict rule number 6, a very, very important rule. If you understand, then definitely there are high chances you can easily trick the software and get better score. Skipping the first phrase and speaking the rest, because first phrase is usually difficult for me. I don't know why. First 3 words I cannot catch. The rest of it I can. This is only because of your listening skills. Start listening to podcast every day. You would improve on this. Very simple. But let's say you skip the first phrase and spoke the rest. Less marks, because software cannot identify the entire context. Remember, the context starts from the first word. It's always better you start speaking from the first word in the order that you listen. If this is the audio, the labeling obtained from the university is deemed to be the genuine certificate to advertise and earn. And now you start speaking deemed to be the genuine certificate to advertise and earn. Software says, boss, no, no, no. As a result, the fluency will go down. Even if you've spoken everything perfectly, the content will go down because you're not starting from the beginning. Pronunciation, everything will go down. This would be probably 0 out of 3 or 1 out of 3 and not more than that. The strict rule number 7, speak only first phrase. If the audio is short, I told you don't just speak half. If the audio is lengthy and still you spoke only the first 3-4 words, first phrase, and did not speak the rest, thinking you have spoken 50%. Remember, if it is less than 50% matching, you would not be getting any scores. Most probably it's going to be 0. Second thing is, don't exactly speak 50%. Some of the words that you speak, software says, I couldn't catch that word. As a result, if you've spoken, let's say 10 words, you exactly spoke 5 words. Software says, I understood 3 words, boss. Then it is 0. So try to maximize your content 60-70%. If 10 words are there, 6-7 words would be ideal. But now speaking only the first phrase for a lengthier audio also will give you low scores because you're not maximizing the content and you're speaking less than 50%. If there is the same question, the labeling obtained from the university, and you just end it, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words are matching, 14, 16 words are there, this also going to be 0. Remember the strict rules. You got to understand them and trick the software by speaking 60-70% at least to be on the safer side, or precisely 50-60%. You speak less, you are getting tricked. Remember this. Strict rule number 8, speaking after 3 to 4 seconds gets 0. Remember this science of repeat sentence. The plain audio, once the audio ends, please come to the next seminar properly prepared. Audio ended, beginning in 2, beginning in 1, recording. After the recording, you got to start speaking in 3 seconds. Let's say 1 second over, 2nd second, 3rd second over, 4th second you try to speak, but before that the microphone will turn off. Software says, AI detected your silence, meaning silence detected, you are turning off your microphone because we thought you are least interested to speak. Very careful, a lot of people write the first letter of each word in repeat sentence. They put their head down and start writing. For a lengthy one, it takes a lot of time. So the audio would have ended and then the recording would have started. Recording also would have ended in 3 seconds. 4th second, they are done and then try to speak, thinking everything they spoke perfectly. That won't work. You got to watch, you got to see one blue bar or recording and then start speaking immediately. For that, you cannot keep writing by putting your head down and watching it and doing all sorts of maths. It's a very easy module. It demands some agility. You cannot be slow here. 3-4 seconds extra you give, whatever you speak will not be recorded. Trust me on this. The strict rule number 9 is copy the pauses of the speaker. This is not so mandatory, but let's say the speaker is giving a lot of pauses and you speak in a different way. Not entirely, but some marks will be reduced. For instance, if this is the question and if the speaker speaks something like this, the labeling obtained from the university gives a genuine impression to advertise. Now the labeling obtained, after obtained there is a small pause. From the university, small pause was there. The labeling obtained from the university, there were 2 small pauses and Mr. Butterball started speaking. The labeling obtained from the university gives a genuine impression to advertise. Now the marks will go down because this is not the natural way of speech and this is not the way software gave you the audio. You don't have to copy the accent. You don't have to copy the pronunciation. But try to copy the speed and the pauses of the speaker so that it comes easy for you to repeat them. First thing. Second thing, it becomes easy for the software also to understand what you speak and give you a very good score. This is how you trick it. This is how you impress the software. Easiest means to do it. Strict rule number 9, kindly follow. The last rule, strict rule number 10, speak everything perfect. But clarity or pitch is not up to the mark and software says, boss, what are you talking? I'm not understanding. Now when we talk about clarity and pitch, we have a lot of things to discuss. Clarity is your ability to speak in a way that whoever listens understands it clearly. But you don't understand any word, or some people could predict. 90% of them says, what is this? What about pitch? Software loves sharper tone for obvious reasons. There would be noise cancellation that is applied probably after you finish speaking by the AI. When it applies, if this is your volume strength, it gets reduced to this. But let's say your volume strength or pitch is already this, it becomes nullified. Meaning, let's say your pitch is very thick, mine is 140, 150. By default, for a male candidate, anything around 140 to 160 is an ideal pitch. Mine is ideal pitch, fortunately, but let's say your pitch is very low, then whatever you speak, marks will not come down. It will not be clearer to the software. You have to thin your tone. A little thin. You can download voice speech analyzer application or voice tools for Android and iPhone. Download the app and see the pitch. For a male candidate, it should be 140, 150. For a female candidate, it should be 200 and above. If you're not well within this range, then you got to thin your tone, a little thin the tone. Market research is a vital part, a little thin for male candidate, even for a female candidates who have a high pitch, thicker voice. Don't shout and speak. Shouting and speaking will also result in higher pitch. Don't do that because pronunciation will go down. Alright, so let's talk about this clarity or pitch. If the audio is the Department of Psychology has trained numerous individuals on behavioral research and mind reading, and you started speaking. The Department of Psychology has trained numerous individuals on mind reading. And it is going to be zero. It's you alone who think that you spoke everything correctly. 2-3 words you somehow messed it up. It doesn't work that way. If you don't speak the words, it's okay. But don't give a wrong data. Software is learning from you. It's like a child. You're giving this data and telling this is me. Software says, oh, this is you, is it? Okay, I understand. I write it down somewhere. Don't speak this way or with a very low pitch. Then also the marks will go down. Open the mouth more with an intention that whoever listens will be able to understand what you speak. And pitch issues, I've told you the applications. Download the app and work towards it. Now let's do a small test through our soon going to be live website, wherein I will take some 20 questions. 20 questions. Each question I'm going to speak and show you what marks I've got, what mistakes I did. Let's do some more tricking the software kind of thing by understanding this 10 strict rules. Let's start. Alright, so let's start with some of the practice things from our soon going to be live website. I'm starting with the question number 300. Let's start.
The lecture will begin promptly at 10 in the morning, so don't be late.
The lecture will begin promptly at 10 in the morning, so don't be late. Fluency 4.8, content 3 out of 3, pronunciation 5. The lecture will begin promptly at 10 in the morning, so don't be late. Exactly, it has matched. We quickly move on to the second question. The next question.
Please submit your assignments before the deadline next Monday to avoid grade deductions.
Please submit the assignments before the deadline next Monday to avoid the grade deduction. So if you observe, I was trying to divide them into phrases. Please submit your assignments before next Monday to avoid grade deduction. I'm dividing them into phrases, understanding them and speaking. If it is difficult for you, you can speak 60-70% fluently. So this is as well all perfectly spoken content. So fluency 4.5, pronunciation 4.8. So this way your speak should be perfect. Or you can speak some 60-70% and still get the same score as well, which I'm gonna show you for some more difficult ones. We quickly move on to the next one.
Scientists are still debating the effects of climate change on oceans and polar regions.
Scientists are still debating the effects of climate change on oceans and polar regions. Scientists are still debating the effects of climate change on oceans and polar regions. The 3 phrases. I think it's all perfect again. Fluency, anything above 4.3 is a good one for a 79. Content is 3 and pronunciation is 5, meaning software is able to understand everything clearly, whatever I've spoken. We quickly move on to the next question. Now it gets a little difficult.
The results will be published in the next quarterly journal issue for public access.
The results will be published for the next quarterly public access. I missed journal, I missed so many words, but let's see what scores do I get. You speak like this, let's see what scores do you get. So basically we are matching the content. If it is above some 50-60%, we're giving 2 out of 3. So it's content to fluency 3.5 because so many words I did not speak. Remember, if the words are not in the order or you add some other word, there could be a problem in, like deducing the fluency. As a result, it can go down, but this would still give 2 out of 3 in the end instead of 3 out of 3. The results will be published in the added for the next quarterly journal issue for public access. Next quarterly public access. So it is not making sense. As a result, software AI would think that you've made some mistakes. As a result, it drops your fluency also down. So be very careful. You speak perfectly first half or second half, or just first 60-70%, you would be getting it. You mix few things. There are some cases where your fluency can also drop down, but not in all the cases. This would be 2 out of 3, if not 3 out of 3 for me. We go to the next question.
Her research focuses on renewable energy and environmental policy in developing nations.
Her research focuses on renewable energy and environmental policies. Every word was correct, but I fumbled. Let's see what scores does it give. Will it give me full marks or not? Let's check it out. Because content is exactly matching, though I fumbled. It is giving me. See, the content is reduced because our research focuses on renewable energy and environmental policies. It is policy in developing nations. Fluency is good, pronunciation is good. Probably AI is in favor of me. It has still given me good scores. Yes, if the content is good and you are speaking correctly, even if some mistakes, you just continue, things should be still fall in place. We move on to the next question. Now let's do some testing. 50-60% will speak.
Make sure to review the instructions carefully before starting the online test tomorrow.
Make sure to review the instructions carefully before the test. Now I spoke before the online test tomorrow. I removed before the test. I spoke. Few of the words are not there. Now let's exactly count and see how many words are matching. What scores does it give for content scores? So it's fluency 4.5. Content 2 means above 50-60% is matching. You see there, make sure to review the instructions carefully before. So it's 8 words are matching, and the test is not in the order, but 8 to 9 words are matching, so it's definitely above 50%. Fluency is good, pronunciation is good, content 2 out of 3, so overall it would be 3 out of 3. We quickly move on to the next question.
Our next guest speaker is an expert in modern architecture and sustainable design.
Our next guest speaker is an expert in modern architecture and design. Sustainable some design. I missed 2 words, but I was fluent. I was going in the proper order. So let's see how much marks do I get. So it's content 3. Why we have given 3 here? Because we have quoted in a way that if it is above 80-85% of the content is matching, give 3 out of 3. In that way we have coded. The same goes with the exam as well. This is purely from our experience. Alright, our next guest speaker is an expert in modern architecture and design. Only 1 word is missing. The rest, all the words have been spoken precisely. So it should be 3 out of 3, and this is how the Pearson software exactly works. We have not randomly taken some APIs, third-party applications, asking them to give fluency, content, pronunciation scores. No, we have coded it. As a result, you can expect some closeness of the results, that you may get in the main exam as well. Fluency is good, pronunciation is okay, because I'm not using a mic, the fan is on. It may affect in some cases. Alright, we quickly move on to the next question.
Attendance is mandatory for all laboratory sessions throughout the entire academic semester.
Attendance is mandatory for all academic semesters. Now I completely messed it up. Now the mark should go down. Let's see what scores do I get. And I spoke really less of a content. So fluency reduced because it is probably less of the words matched, not in the order. Attendance is mandatory. Attendance is mandatory for all laboratory and semesters. 7 words are matching, and over there it's session throughout the entire academic. 12 words are there. Out of 12 words, I'm speaking 7 words, so it's more than 50% correct. So it's 2 out of 3 content. Pronunciation is okay, but fluency came down because I'm just messing up the order. This is what we have seen in most of the AI models. You have to speak and make sense. If it is not making sense, the fluency will go down because it will not be able to capture the essence of the audio, which should be the same even in the Pearson exam as well, because it's the similar AI model they also probably would have used. So try to go in the order, don't completely mess up the order. We will continue with the next question.
You can collect your student ID card from the office during business hours.
You can collect your student ID card from the office. So now I've spoken precisely, but first 50-60%. I'm not jumbling up too much, isn't it? So let's see what scores do I get. I should be able to get probably 4 and above fluency, content 2 out of 3, pronunciation 4 and above. So this is what it is. You mess up the flow, you speak 5th word and then 9th word, then the fluency may go down, which is not the usual scenario for anybody. Don't do it or try to avoid it. Try to go in the order, first 50-60% or 70% exactly matching. In the end you leave, you should be able to still get a good score. Alright, we will move on to the next question.
The online registration form must be filled out completely and submitted before midnight.
The online registration form must be filled out completely and midnight. Now I'm messing up the order. After the 6th word, I spoke the last word. Let's see, but I was fluent. But let's see how AI treats the answers. Okay, it is given fluency 4.5, content is 2, pronunciation is 4.8. The online registration form must be filled out completely. Had almost spoken, probably 7 words, 8 words correctly. And then last 1 or 2 words have interchanged or skipped it, should be fine. The AI is giving a good score. So we'll move on to the next one. So basically, except 1 or 2, I got the correct answers for correct marks for all the questions.
He's writing a paper on global economic trends and predictions for future markets.
He's writing a paper on global educational trend and future markets. Now I completely messed it up. Let's check it out. But I think content would be still 2 because the words are matching, 50% and above words are matching. He's writing a paper on global educational trends. I did not use the exact word towards the end, which is there towards the end. I used a new word by mistake. Global educational trends, it's economic trend, and predictions for future market and future market. Predictions for and economic, 3 words I've missed. So it's more than 70-75%. Content is 2. Fluency, I'm going in a flow. I have not completely messed up the order. 1 word by mistake I added. So the rest of it is the good one, and I have got full marks. This would be 3 out of 3 in the exam, by the way. So this is basically analyzing the audio.
The cafeteria serves vegetarian meals on Mondays and Thursdays for health-conscious students.
The cafeteria serves vegetarian meals on Mondays and Sundays. The cafeteria serves vegetarian meals on Sundays. Only 6-7 words are correct. Towards the end I completely left it, messed it up. Okay, I've got it. The pronunciation has gone down because few of the words perhaps I did not speak correctly. The cafeteria serves vegetarian meals on Mondays. After that I left and Thursday for health conscious, and Sundays is not there. So basically what it is taking is it is expecting the word Thursdays and I've spoken something else. So the pronunciation is going down. Hope you are getting it. This is how the AI actually works even in the Pearson exam. You don't give wrong data. Probably if I had stopped it, the cafeteria serves vegetarian meals on Mondays, probably I would have got full scores. But anyhow, here as well I have gotten full score, but pronunciation went down because you're adding, you're replacing some other word. Hope you're getting it. Try to exactly speak as it is, first 60-70%. If you skip the the last part, it should be still fine. We move on to the next question.
We encourage students to join extracurricular activities and clubs to enhance their skills.
We encourage students to join the extracurricular activities and clubs. I did not pronounce it correctly, extracurricular, but I think I should be able to understand that. Let's check it out. It has, we encourage students to join the extracurricular activities and clubs to enhance their skills. Last 4 words I skipped. The first perfectly I've spoken. Fluency is increased, pronunciation is increased, content is 2 means overall it's 3 out of 3. Hope you are getting content 2 out of 3. So this would be 4.5 plus 2 plus 4.8. Towards the end they convert it to 3. It would be 2.5, 2.6. It would become 3 out of 3 only. Alright, we go to the next question.
A revised version of the proposal was submitted yesterday with updated financial estimates.
Our revised version of the proposal was submitted yesterday. I did not take any tension. I just spoke first 60%. Hey, they should give me good scores, man. And this is what it is, which people don't understand. They go behind content, but at the end of the day, it is the fluency that wins the race, and 60-70% of the content, if you're able to give, you are a king. So it's fluency 4.5, pronunciation 4.8, content 2 out of 3. Our revised version, it's our revised version of the proposal was submitted yesterday, and updated financial estimates, 4 words I've skipped, and more or less it's around 10-11 words or 12 words, 4 words I've skipped. Still I'm getting good scores. And this is what you should be doing in the exam. Alright, we move on to the last question for today. Let me give my best and do this.
Group presentations are scheduled for next Friday in class during the final hour.
Group presentations are scheduled for next Friday in the class during the final hours. I actually missed few words, I believe. I'm not sure because as the audio length goes bigger, it's difficult to track what we just listened. It's pure concentration. Yes, I think I've got content 3. Group presentation are scheduled for next Friday in the class during the final hours. I've added the hours, few words extra, but it's fluency 4.5, content 3, pronunciation 4.6. So what do we learn from this session is very simple. If you can speak everything perfectly, please go ahead and do it. The only thing that you need to do this is listening skill. You listen, understand, divide them into phrases, and then speak the phrases. But connect them, speak a bit quicker, don't pause, no fumbles. The second option is if you're not able to do this, there's one more option with which you can get the same marks as the first option. The second option is, like I told you, 60-70% to be on the safer side. 50% is fine, but let's say the software is not able to understand 1 or 2 words, then the marks will go down. Correct? 60-70% in the order from left to right. Exactly speak for that. Listen to only 60-70% of the audio. The rest you don't even listen, and just speak this without fumbles. In a flow, you should be able to get a good score. I think that's all for today. I really hope this was an informative content. If you believe the same, like, share and subscribe, and leave your valuable comments in the comment section. This is Nakul, N-A-K-U-L, Nakul, signing off from SKILLS PTE Academic. Anytime you need online assistance, it's a paid assistance. You can check the information in the description of this video. You can click on the WhatsApp link and send us a message. We will do the needful. Alright, it's time to bid bye. Soon we'll be back. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. Thanks much.